Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Crafting with Holly. It's July, it's the beginning of July, and I have some new projects that I wanted to share with you. And starting with this beautiful card workshop. It's a 4-sheet wonder. You're gonna make out of one 6x6 piece of paper, you're gonna cut 4 different pieces of that 6x6 designer series paper. And you're going to be able to make 6 cards with it. And there's a beautiful colored guide that you'll receive, and I'm offering that with a $50 purchase in the month of July. So when you spend $50 in the month of July, you're going to get the guide sent to you. It's a PDF through your email, and I happen to use this beautiful Country Woods designer series paper that can be found on page 51 in the catalog, and this is the Country Lace. So the Country Woods is the suite collection, and when you buy the suite, not only are you purchasing this stamp set with the die cut, this stamp set, the Country Flowers with the dies, the coordinating dies, but you're also going to get that fabulous embossing folder, which I'm going to show that to you in just a minute. Those are really fun. I think those are pearls. I'm looking right here. Yeah, the Smoky Slate Pearls, the Country Woods designer series paper that I absolutely love and have already gotten another pack of, and then this is the Country Lace that I use. So let me just show you those papers up close and personal. So the 4 pieces of designer series paper that I cut were these, and they are reversible, and you're going to use these fabulous peach sides, which is actually the petal pink color. So you're going to cut these to a 6x6, and then the guide will walk you through how to take those 4 pieces of paper and cut them down. And oh my goodness, it was just so fun to use those designer series papers to make these cards. And so I just wanted to give you some tips and tricks. In this particular video, I want to talk about die cutting. I also want to talk about the Blend markers from Close to My Heart that we used to sell versus the Stampin Blends. And I want to just give you my honest opinion on both of them and why you would want to use one or the other. And honestly, like, I am not an artist, but I feel like when I use alcohol-based markers, the high-quality ones, they truly make you feel like you're an artist because they should be effortless. And that's one of the things that I realized when I was using the Stampin Blends and also the Blends. So I want to just give you my honest opinion. That's it. It's just an opinion. But I wanted to let you see what these cards look like. I did use the Stampin Blends for these cards, and they're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And oh my goodness, let me talk to you about that piece right there. So here is the Country Flowers photopolymer stamp set, and then the coordinating dies I did move and mount onto the, it's an envelope and then a magnetic sheet. There is another video that I did sharing why I did this, and I just found that I wanted to keep everything together. So that video I will make sure that I link down in the comments below. I don't get any money off of this Amazon suggestion. It's just something that somebody else recommended to me, and I've been using them and loving them, and they work beautifully, and they fit into these CD cases fabulously. These, however, the Spot on Nature, I am keeping them in the original container from Stampin Up, and this is something that I did not realize when I was opening this up. I thought it was one set, you guys, but it's not. It's actually 2 sets. So make sure that when you're opening up your dies for the first time that you look. I mean, this is such a substantial set, and this is the Spotlight on Nature die. I absolutely love it, and this is the one that I used for the background of my sentiment, and I just love the detail, and I just thought that it matched the Country Lace paper so beautifully. So that's the one that I used for the background. And then this set is the Stylish Shapes dies, and again, I kept it in the original container from Stampin' Up, and I used this smaller circle, and this one is actually only one sheet of dies, and I want to say that it's this little guy right here. Yep, that's the one that I used. And help me, you guys, for those of you that have used this set, I noticed when I cut this out, not only did you get this beautiful stitching around here, but it left this outer ring onto my cardstock. So I'm guessing that I would cut that out as well. Help me out. I'd love to know your comments about this particular die and why it left. And I'll have to show you. Let me show you guys. Let me just take this and show you. And then I also learned something new. I love learning new things, you guys, every day. I feel like I'm learning something new at Stampin' Up. Being that I was a maker for over 21 years with close to my heart, I am learning something new every day. So this is that fabulous little mini embossing and die cut machine. And Angela, you were asking me how to use this. I figured it out. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to show you this. Okay, so this is the platform 1, and you need the 2 and 2 when you're going to cut a die. So you would lay your 1 down, you're going to lay another 2 down, and you need to stagger them. That's how you get them to go through the machine. You actually have to stagger these plates, okay? That is the key to getting them to go through. I just sat there literally for minutes, and I'm like, why is this not going through? I know this can't be that complicated. And then I figured it out. I was like, oh, they need to be staggered. So I'm just taking some masking tape that Close to My Heart had, and then you're going to put the second plate on top. So these are going to be staggered in a sandwich like this. Can you see that? So that is the key. You need to stagger the plates in order to get them to go through the rolling mechanism. And then I'm going to try and hold this so that it doesn't ricochet back and that it doesn't shake the table too much. But see how that is how you get them to go through? They have to be staggered. That is the key to getting them to go through that little mini machine. And anyone else out there, drop your comments and tips down below. I hope that's exactly what you were supposed to do. But do you see this? So, and this is really cool, but I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do with this other circle? And I guess the answer would be cut another circle shape out. But do you see how this one, when it cut it, it cuts this one, but now it's left this stitching behind, and I don't know what to do with this. So I would love your thoughts and comments on what am I supposed to do with this remaining piece, because it's a great piece. It's a dotted, it's a dashed line, whereas this is a dotted circle, and I'm just wondering, what do I do with this outer piece? Anyway, so that's how you use the mini machine. It's imperative that you stagger the plates, and the plates need to go in first. Again, do you see that? How they need to just kind of be staggered so that it will grip it and run through. Yay for figuring that one out. That took me a few minutes. And then this is that fabulous embossing folder. It's the Eyelet 3D embossing folder. It is so fun. And I embossed a few pieces. I did Mink cardstock from Close to My Heart. And yeah, the dark side has the raised one and the light side has the raised one because I wanted you to see the difference in both. But look at how fabulous the details are on these. The dimension is just incredible. And then this is the Close to My Heart Peach cardstock. And I really liked these, but I thought that they might have just created a little bit too much competition with the cards. Anyway, I'm going to share with you in just a little bit. I'm going to do another video, assembly video, and just share with you what you could do with this folder, because I really do think that this is so beautiful, and you could do either side, or you could just use plain cardstock as a base just to add a little bit more texture to these cards if you wanted to. But let's get back to the coloring, and the whole purpose of this video was to really just walk you through my thoughts and ideas when it comes to using the Blend Markers versus the Stampin' Up! Blends, which I've got right here. And I will drop down in the comments below the colors that I used for these. So when you buy the Stampin' Blends, you get a light and you get a dark. And they're marked right here on the sides of the markers, which is really great, so that you know what they are when you're going to use them. And I used, let's go through them. This is the peach pie for this flower. And then I used petal pink for these, and I used both the light and the dark. I used the light on the outside and the dark on the inside. And then the green apple is what I used to color in all the greenery. And then I used lemon lolly for this flower right here. And I am blown away with how easy these blends were to use. And then secondly, the vibrancy of them is astounding. They are so beautiful and so bright. And that was the biggest takeaway that I got from the Blend Markers versus the Stampin' Blends. They are way more brighter and more vibrant than the Blends. And that's important to me as a colorer. I want them to be vibrant and stand out. And I was really disappointed that the Blends were not as vibrant as I wanted them to be. And again, it's a personal preference, but if I were to pick the two, I'm always going to go for something that's a little bit brighter and more eye-catching. And so I was pleasantly surprised and impressed with the Stampin' Blends markers. And then the same thing with the gray. I used brown gray blend to color in my bench and the jug, pail, whatever you want to call it. And then for the Stampin' Blends, I used the smoky slate, both the light and the dark. And I just, again, I just like the look of it better. It created the look that I wanted. And this one, I had to just keep adding color and blending. And either my blender is running low or it's just not as efficient as the blender from Stampin' Up, the Stampin' Blend. I was able to blend so much easier and get the look that I wanted. So again, I'm going just off of my own personal experience, my personal preference. I'm very pleased and impressed with the Stampin' Blends. So as I run out of my Blends, I am definitely going to go and start investing more in the Stampin' Blends. And the fact, again, that they match the ink pad so beautifully, whereas we were struggling so much to always find a color in the Blends that matched a close to my heart color. I'm really thankful that these blends actually match the ink pads perfectly. So a couple of things that I want to just walk you through is, where did I put my extra piece of paper? Here we go. Let me just bring this over here and just kind of walk you through. And I'm going to show you both a Stampin' Blend and a Blend, just so that you can see the difference in coloring. And let me just come over here and find a space that I can cut out to when I'm done. And some tips that I wanted to share with you. Whoops, I hope that you could see that. Probably should have brought this closer into view. Let me just move these out of the way. So I just used the Intense Black ink from Close to My Heart and stamped that onto a scratch piece of paper. And then let's start with the tri-blends. And I used dull green for all of the greenery and used both the light and the medium. And as far as coloring goes, both of them I found give you great color. It doesn't take very long at all to get the marker onto the cardstock and have the color come out. I do find, and I'm more experienced with the tri-blend markers than I am with the Stampin' Blends. But the sad thing about these, when they start to run out, they squeak. And I find that I use the light shade the most out of all of them. And then I'm stuck having to buy another marker because I've got all this medium and dark left, and I really need the light. And then I'm just taking the medium and just going right here at the base, just to kind of give you some depth and dimension. I really like that technique. And it just creates that illusion of more depth. So that is the tri-blend dull green, light and medium. So now let's go over here and yet let's use the Stampin' Blend light Granny Apple. And so this one has a brush tip, which is fabulous, you guys, for faster coloring of larger areas. And then it also has a fine tip. So I want to show you how amazing this is. Look at how awesome this is to just lightly color this area. And just like any other alcohol marker, you want to stay in the center. You don't want to press too hard, and you don't want to go over the edges. But I really like this brush tip, especially for an area like this where, where I just want to color in these larger leaves faster. But I was really impressed that I could also do the same thing with these smaller leaves, and I didn't feel like I was too heavy-handed, and it colored beautifully, and it stayed in the lines, especially when you're just kind of tapping right in the center. And I thought this was really a faster and easier way to color. So I was really impressed with this brush tip. And again, like I said, I'm just lightly touching that area. But look at the vibrancy of that. It is just, it's so beautiful compared to this color, you know. Just so much more vibrant. Okay, so then I took the dark and just came over here and just touched really carefully. And again, I just was really impressed at the depth and the vibrancy of these. And there you go. So that is that one. And then I guess I should just kind of fold this over so that you can see the two of them side by side. And they do dry down quite a bit. But I'm still impressed with the vibrancy of the Stampin' Blends. Okay, let's try another color. So then I used, I used the coral for this one, and I wanted it to be a little bit more of an orange, so I didn't take the time to go and find which one would be more of an orange in the tri-blends. And then I took the medium and went in the center and just kind of pushed out some of the color. And it wasn't dark enough, so I went back with the dark and just kind of pushed that color out like that to create that look. And then for this one, I used the peach pie in the light. And again, there's that brush tip, just really makes coloring, especially when you're making 6 of these, you just don't necessarily want to spend hours and hours coloring. Although I could, I really loved being able to do this pretty quickly. And there you go. Both of them are beautiful, truly. And if you want to layer more color on here, you can. And you do get that buildable color, which is really fun. So there we go for that one. Okay, and then I used the light petal pink, and then I had to use 2 colors, pale pink shades and blends to do these smaller flowers. So let's take this one first. And just go over those. Probably should have let this intense black ink dry a little bit more before I started coloring it, because it does bleed a little bit. And actually, I think, you know what? I take that back. I actually used the light flamingo and the dark flamingo on these cards because this is a lot more vibrant. So let's go back over these. I think I tried the petal pink, but it just wasn't dark enough. And then I switched to this one. And then I'm going to take the dark. I just love that look that you get. It is so beautiful just by doing that. So pretty. So pretty. Okay, let's go back with these. And these were super light too, but a good comparison. And just use circular motions, that's it, that's all I'm doing. And then I did try to use the dark to see if that was deep enough, and it just wasn't deep enough, so I did go with the light of the pink shades. And it did give me that depth that I was looking for. Just love the pop that you're getting with that. Although this is beautiful too. I'll let you guys be the judge on that one. Okay, and then the lemon lolly is what I used for this one, and I probably would have maybe just kept this plain and just colored the outside, because I'm just finding that with yellows that they just are, they're so soft to begin with that it's really hard to get that dimension when you layer. But I'm just kind of going back over that one a couple of times, and that one actually looks pretty good. And then this one, the light yellow, is what I really wanted, but when I did that, it just looked really mustardy, right? Just too mustardy. So I switched to the citrus blend, and let's see what this looks like. So I'm going to just use this one, the light, and then I'm going to use the dark over here. And there you go. Let me just bring that into camera so you can see. Stampin' Blends, Tri Blends. I just love the vibrancy of this, not gonna lie. My eyes go to color, so I think I'm gonna just start using these, and I definitely will still use these from time to time, but I'm really impressed with the color level, the brightness, the ease of use, and the fact that it matches. So now you're going to take your die once you color them from in here. And this is the other thing that I noticed, and thanks Dana for pointing this out in one of your videos. You're getting a much tighter border around the Stampin' Up! Dies than Close to My Heart. Close to My Heart gave you probably more like, I don't know, an 1/8 of an inch border, whereas this is more like a 1/16 of an inch. It's tiny. So when you're lining this up after you have stamped it, you want to get really, really close to your image. And that's why I found using the Close to My Heart masking tape was just really super important to lay this down and make sure that it doesn't move, so when you cut it, you're getting that great impression. So again, I'm taking plate 1, plate 2, laying down my die right here. Hopefully that didn't shift too much. I'm gonna reposition it. And then I'm gonna put plate 2 on top, okay? And then the sandwich is gonna be staggered so that when I run it through, it will do it correctly. I'm gonna lay this down. Okay. And there's my sandwich. And then yay. And it is a tight sandwich. And oh my goodness, you guys, look at that. I did it. It looks great. Okay, so now I've got some other flowers that I can use for my cards. And I think what I'll do is I'll just stop this now, and the next video that I do, I'm going to walk you through how to assemble all of these beautiful cards. If you have any questions about any of the products that I shared, please drop your comments down below. As always, I can't thank you guys enough for following me and subscribing to this channel, and just supporting my creative journey with Stampin' Up. Have a great day, and I will catch you on the next video.